Hi guys, welcome back to OldWayz number 76.
Woo! Bicentennial.
The patriotic issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. The patriotic, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
How's your week been?
It's been going pretty good. We had a cool morning this morning. It was in the 60s. Hoorah!
Hoorah.
So we got up and I got out early this morning and shot a video that'll be posting on Sunday. And so far, so good. How about you?
Well, for those of you that don't remember from the live 2 weeks ago, I have gone back to my former career part-time.
Shocking, I know.
Shocking, I know. It's been good. I can't argue. My motivation is that we're kind of short-handed, and I didn't like to see that big of a gap, knowing that I could plug up part of it.
Plus, you retire, that locks in your money and all like that, so they can't take that away from you. It's yours now.
No, and I know exactly how many days I can work between now and the end of the year and not have it messed up.
So therefore, now you can go back and you are in a much better position.
Yeah, what's the phrase I'm looking for? I have a much better negotiating point.
Yes. Yeah.
But no, it was good. I can't tell you how many people have stopped me in the last 2 weeks and said, I thought you retired.
I did.
I did.
Well, I had an employee of mine back when I was district manager that had been with that particular company like 28 years. And he left on Tuesday for his days off. He'd be off Tuesday, Wednesday. And Friday when he came back, he said, I want to put in for my retirement, and then I want to apply for a job. Okay, explain that. And he said, I've worked it out. If I retire now, in the next 30 days, I'll get my money, I'll do this, da-da-da-da-da, and then I'll be off for a month, and then I'll come back to work, starting over as a new employee, but with 28 years experience. The pay of the new employee is within $5 of what I am at now, and I got all the benefits and everything, and that money is now locked over here on my retirement money, and y'all can't touch it, and therefore it's mine. I went,
that's the same
sound decision.
That's the same loophole that I fell into.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, coming back, I'm not making exactly what I was making, but I'm within about $2 of what I was making.
But you're making you still got your money coming from your retirement too.
Yes.
So you just added more income.
I get that check once a month.
Yeah. So therefore, it's like I did this and I got a constant source of income now. So yeah.
And I've got groceries in the cabinet. I've got insurance available, health insurance available. I'm able to make all of my bills.
Therefore.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I mean it's working at Walmart. There were several people I knew there that had been at that store for 25, 30 years.
Yeah.
And I pointed out that, if you retire and then stay out, say 2 months.
I was out 5.
Yeah, but stay out like 2-3 months.
4.
And then come back and apply, they're going to snatch you right back up because they know who you are, they know what a worker you are, and you'll be making within just a little bit of what you were making after all them years, because they do not give you a lot of raises. And I left the company, came back 8 months later. I was within 50 cents of what I'd took 10 years to get to, and had all the benefits. So it really, in many ways, it makes sense for us old retirees and stuff like that. Retire, and that way you can't lose that retirement. It's yours now. That income is coming in, and then go back and get a part-time job.
Here's the fun part. being retired law enforcement, I get a lifetime pistol permit that as long as I keep it valid, I can carry in all 50 states, even the blue ones. I also, because I retired in good standing with the Alabama Peace Officers Standards and Training Commission, I do not ever have to take another CEU. The only thing that I have to do to maintain my A-post certificate is qualify with my handgun.
Therefore, you're in a good position with that.
Yep. And plus it saves the department money.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to send me off to school and pay for gas to get me there and get me back and feed me while I'm there.
Retirement can be a strategic move. It doesn't have to be the end of anything, because I'm here to tell you, you don't quit working when you retire. You just start working for you. I retired at 38. I retired from being the district manager for Printco. And I was bored to tears. I mean, the house was paid for, the cars were paid for, all of that, and I was just bored to tears. And so I went back into the job industry really for exercise. And
Promptly had 5 heart attacks.
oh, well, yeah, I was always one of them that I was push, always got to do more. And my heart attacks were stress-induced. My first 3 were stress-induced, dehydration and stress.
Yeah.
What caused them. And then my last 2 were, both of them were at Christmas time. Stress, because I was, I was that time working at Walmart. And literally half the store was mine. I mean, when I wasn't there, there were 8 people that worked. When I was there, I was the only one in that half of the store. And I was expected to cover half of a super center for them.
Which in and of itself is really not fair to you.
No, but I'm that kind of guy, So I was covering HBA, garden center, toys, housewares, hardware, sporting goods. After 7, I was covering automotives.
What's HBA?
Health and beauty aids.
Ah.
So if there was a call that somebody needed help, I had to go there. So basically,
that's where your cosmetic experience comes from.
Oh yeah. And so I mean, you come in the door and you got 2 action alleys, and from the action alley to the wall, that whole third of the store was mine. And I'm expected to do all the gun sales, and somebody needs a set of tires at the counter, and that guy's gone, there was somebody at that counter up until about 5, and then they left, and I was supposed to go cover them as well. So they were just using me as a jack of all trades during Christmas now to cover half the store, and you wonder why I had heart attacks in December.
Yeah.
You're just constant stress trying to get all of this done. But then whenever I'm now making my way on YouTube, and I retired, you think, well, you wouldn't have nothing to do, just make a video every couple of days. Yeah, try that out. Yeah.
Now, I know that I don't make half the videos that he does. Okay, that's why he's at 90,000 and I'm at 2,000.
I am within 500 of 100,000 right
yes,
now.
You are.
I'm slowly clawing my way up.
I think we can push him over the top before December. What do y'all think?
It'd be great.
Let him get one of those little plastic awards.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think it'd be so cool on Thursday nights during lives to see it hanging on the curtain behind you. Mm-hmm. Don't say anything to anybody. Don't do an unboxing. Let it be there. Just let it hang there.
A lot of them do that. They put them in the background or whatever. And, it just, it's part of your, I'm working, but I'm working for me now is what it is. And that's what you're going to do when you retire. You're going to work for you. Now, whether it's, a lot of them get into gardening or start doing crafts or babysitting the grandbabies or whatever. You need to stay busy. Don't just sit.
No. No, because you'll take root and it's just not a good outcome at all.
The ones that normally live into their 80s and 90s are the active ones. It just never seemed to slow down.
Yep. We're going to let you travel about 2,000 miles this next year, too.
More than likely. Well, last year I put over 10,000 miles, literally, on my Pathfinder.
Oh, I remember you were going to Ohio and to West Virginia and down into Florida like every other week.
Well, I felt bad because so many people had invited me to come to their events, and I just never could, and it had lined up where I had the time and resources. Yeah. And so I went to Kentucky, I went to North Carolina, I went to Ohio, I went to West Virginia, I went to Georgia, I went to South Florida.
Was that the year was it last year you went to Mississippi?
Year before.
Year before
I went to Mississippi. Or maybe I did that in January. Yeah, January I went to Mississippi.
Yeah.
So I was on the run.
Small get-to over there.
And was having a great time. And then last November I had my stroke, and I've been taking it easy since then.
Well, we'll give you a year to heal.
Oh yeah, give you a little time.
We'll give
Come
you
on.
some time to heal. But
No problem.
After all, you are the great hat.
Well, now hold on here. I distinctly remembered you were going to retire, and then you and I were going to be going to these events together.
Yeah. And the beauty of being retired is that when they coordinate with times that they're not asking me to work.
Yeah.
We can go.
Yeah, we can go.
Oh, Lordy.
Yeah,
Speaking of fun things coming up.
Yep.
I'm keeping pushing his event, his gathering in October. It's going to be the October 15th through the 19th
at Geneva State Forest Lake.
Geneva State Forest Lake. And no kidding, he has had so much traffic on GPS that you can actually map the place now.
Yeah. When I first started going out there, it didn't. If you actually put in GPS for it, it took you like a mile and a half way to a feed lot.
Yeah.
It did not take you to the place. And that's the reason I did the drive-in videos. Remember, I'd post them. But I asked everybody that came there to use their phone to GPS flag it, mark it, whatever.
I think they call it pin it.
Pin it. And so many of them have now that I tell you, if you'll just come in on the op side and put it in, it'll guide you straight the shortest route to the lake.
Yeah.
So I put it on the map, so to speak.
Yeah, the forester over there absolutely loves this guy.
Oh yeah, we get them funding. Absolutely.
It's a lot of fun to do it, and they have, you have to buy a permit now, guys. Don't forget.
It's $5 per day to the state. I ain't charging nothing, but it's the state.
He doesn't charge, but the state requires a permit, and you can buy a $5 a day permit, or you can buy a yearly permit. The yearly permit's what, $50?
Something like that, yeah.
Ish.
And if you're going to be going like we are, we'll go back there so often, we'll just get a year permit.
Yeah.
You know, if it's a one time, you're only coming down here once, yeah, you'll be fine.
Yes. And, there are people now that will go there just to get away. I mean, we've got one friend who drives from Michigan to camp, to camp on the lake for a week by himself, because it's such a really cool place to go.
We got another one, Kennedy. He comes in from St. Louis.
Really?
He goes to visit family down in Florida, and so what he does, he drives down here, then he'll camp for like 2 days at the lake, then he'll go on down to his family.
And then reverse it on the way home.
Reverse it on the way. This is his stop off where he can settle and, enjoy life a little bit.
Which is good. I mean, it's a good place to be able to land and lay over for a couple of days. You do have to bring your own wood.
Yep, bring your own
wood and water.
Wood and water. And other than that, you're good.
Yeah.
Speaking of, you and I got to go talk to Mr. John about getting wood for that event.
Yes, we do.
Go ahead and let him know, and let's set up a date for me to show up, because last year I screwed up and I didn't talk to him, and the event was about to happen and I showed up and he had gone visiting and he wasn't here, and we tried back 2 different days and it wasn't there. And so we had to scrounge for local sources, and it was not a good firewood. So
we were eventually able to make contact, so it all worked out in the end. It tickles me. Speaking of fun stories from past gatherings, we've got this mutual friend who is, he's a big name in outdoors, and who had never been taught how to cook on a wood fire. And he's up here he's stacking up wood, on top of one another and lighting it off. And I knelt down there beside him and I said, I don't think you're going to need quite this much wood. Well, I want to have some good bed of coal. I said, all you want to cook on is coals. You don't want to cook on fire. Okay, so let's take about half of this off and light what's there, and then we'll cook from this point. Okay. Nobody ever mentioned it to him. And he's a very successful outdoorsman.
Yeah.
Who shall remain nameless.
Yep. Well, I mean, everybody's got to learn.
Yeah. And nobody had ever taken the time to sit down and say, there's a better way.
We had Grouch in our group. We always had a gathering down at his land, a private gathering every year in the winter. And there's about 35 of us there, and we're all sitting kind of like we are, kind of shoulder to shoulder around the fire with like a keyhole to go in and out. And we're all having our own conversations. We're not doing a big group conversation. Everybody's talking amongst themselves and stuff like that. Nobody noticed Al Seward. We called him Squire. But he always, to Squire, a fire is going out. Like the glass is half empty, half full. To Squire, the fire is going out. I don't care if there's 70 foot of flames and it's peeling the paint off your car 100 yards away. The fire's going out. It needs more wood,
More is better.
More is better. And so nobody's paying him any attention. He's just constantly drinking stuff in. Well, after about, I don't know, I'm sitting there talking to a friend of mine, and we're talking, and suddenly I realized, and I looked up, and he had drugged these 2, fat lighter stumps.
Oh, God.
And threw it on that fire, and it took it a couple minutes for it to kind of, but once it did, there was literally a fire tornado, like right there, and we were scared the trees were going to burst into flames up there. Yeah. And so everybody had to jump up and pull back and run get buckets of water out of the creek, trying to calm this down before we had a canopy fire running. And it's just like, but it's going out. Yeah, dear God, don't let it go out. But but he was a major computer engineer, is what he did in real life. So we loved him to death. That was our Squire, but he was a computer engineer. He hadn't ever been in the Boy Scouts. He just did live in history with us, and he was unique. He was ours,
Yeah, I learned to cook at our family reunion. We had a burn pile. And would gather coals out of the burn pile and put them in the pit to cook the meat on. And that's where I got my training. That and cooking in big iron pots, cooking food in big iron pots, it's exactly the same way. You stack up your wood around the pots and light it to get the water in the pot hot. But then after it gets hot and starts to do its thing, you back off on it and just coals.
Yeah, that's when you get the pot hot, that scalds and sterilizes the pot, let the water boil down to where you want. Usually what we would do is we would take a thing and dash that water out and put fresh water back in it. Now that it's come to a good hard boil for like 10 minutes, so that pot, which was clean, but you know what I mean, is completely sterilized. And then would go in the vegetables if you're doing taters or whatever for the big thing. And then over here to the side would be, like he's talking about, the fire that we'd take shovelfuls of coals to add to it after that. Yeah. So
we always cleaned them and washed them before we filled them up. And getting a pot positioned is a interesting endeavor. I mean, we get out there with levels, bubble levels, and we'll put it this way on what we'll call an x-axis across the top, and then get it level that way, and then shift it 90 degrees to a y-axis and make sure it's level that way before we'll ever put water in it. And then right before we get ready to light it, we'll put our chicken or whatever in it to cook.
He was a little higher up the food chain than me. They had levels to do that with. We had a seam line that went around the inside of the pot that you would set it up there and you'd put the water in it and you looked at where the line was on the pot and you adjusted the pot till it was level all the way around. Then you built the fire on it because it's sitting on actual rock or concrete, what the pot's sitting on.
Yeah,
because
brick.
We had a horror story the family told back in the 20s about they had set the pot up on firewood.
Oh God.
And had got it boiling real hard, and then it collapsed, and someone got scalded all over the legs from it. And so after that, it became a thing that only rock or only iron or something is what the pot sits on.
Yeah.
If the pot can't sit there level, it don't sit. Then you build the fire around it.
You can also use a scavenge level. Get you a glass that's got a circle around it,
mm-hmm.
and use that as your level.
Mm-hmm.
Put a board across the top of it. You know, sight your board, make sure it's as level as it can be, and then put your glass in the middle, and adjust it accordingly to that water level in the line.
I've used my clear Nalgene canteen before to make sure my hammock was level, because I had a line on the actual clear body. Mm-hmm. And I'd put it up there to the ridge line and see if my head or my feet were higher or lower.
Yeah. Yeah, there's all kinds of ways to do it.
You think that that'd be easy to do, but with the terrain, it looks like this. You know, one side's higher than the other. But if you put a level up there, it actually is level. It's because of the way the ground's sitting and the trees are at, it just makes it look uneven. But I knew I'd get up into the thing, and I felt like I was sliding to the bottom, but it looks level. And I lined that canteen up there and go, nope, that ain't level, you know, and adjusted it, and it looked, man, that is crooked. Get in there and lay flat. Holy cow, this is level. Yeah. So, ingenuity.
It's absolutely. Now, reminder about the gathering. Blackie does not charge to come to the gathering. He gets absolutely nothing financial out of this. But come, y'all come.
Come hang out with me and Bear.
Yeah, we can do this.
What we usually do is on Saturday night, or the end of it, type deal, usually Saturday night, is we'll do a giveaway. We'll draw numbers or whatever, and gear that I may have gotten as part of doing field trials for companies or whatever, I'll throw them on the trade blanket to give away at that time. A lot of people, good friends of ours that come to the event, they bring gear. Last year, William Collins brought 3 huge totes of big name brand stuff, you know.
And he said, just go through, get what you want, and I did.
Mm-hmm.
Shamelessly, I went through it and got what I wanted. And, I mean, people were just digging through and throwing stuff left, right, and center.
There was Hidden Woodsman rucksacks, Hidden Woodsman haversacks.
I got one of those backpacks with frame.
Yeah.
Nobody else wanted it, but I reached in there and grabbed a hold of it. And 2 or 3 other nice trinkets. But yeah, y'all come out and join us. And it's real easy to get to. You know, bring your food, bring your water, bring your wood. Mm-hmm. And we're going to have a good time. They do provide porta potties.
The state provides porta potties that are pumped almost every other day.
Yeah.
And it's very nice. I mean, this guy that's running it now, they keep them super clean. So, very handy.
Yes.
And we've got the big old lake there, so if you've got a pump or something and you don't want to bring water, you can pump water out of the lake. That's fine. They don't allow swimming in the lake because we got alligator in there, and they don't want you to go swimming. There ain't no lifeguard or nothing.
Yeah, there's no point in winding up as an hors d'oeuvre.
Yeah, but you can go fish out there. If you want to bring a kayak or a canoe, do it. They don't allow gas motors. If you got an electric motor, but no gas motors in there.
You can't run a gas motor. If you need an Alabama fishing permit, they're real easy to get.
You go to outdooralabama.com.
Yeah. Or you can go to Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart do it.
Walmart will sell you an Alabama fishing permit.
And for those of you that are coming from out of state, you can get a 7-day permit for reasonable, for fishing or whatever.
A lot of folks do.
Yeah.
A lot of folks do.
A lot of people do. They come in and fish while we're there. And there's plenty of trails to go hiking. And if you've got something like an electric bicycle or something like that and want to bring it, there's plenty of roads. I mean, miles and miles of roads to go ride around if you just want to go riding. So, really enjoyable. What else, brother?
I brought this book up in a previous OldWayz. It's Horace Kephardt's Camping and Woodcraft, and this is the what they call it, the Legacy Edition, expanded version. Yeah, the Legacy Edition. It's a reprint of a book originally printed in 1921.
There was a collection of his work.
Yeah, there were 2 volumes, and the Legacy was compressed, and this is the paperback version of that Legacy Edition. I'm just starting to peel back the layers of the onion, and it's really, really good, what I've got so far. But I wanted to read something to you. Inside these pages are decades, if not centuries, of knowledge of the camping tradition, cookery, and kitchen tips, as much as backwoods and bushcraft knowledge of the woods and wilderness that Kephart could find in the day. Many of the tips, including within, have been long lost to time as more modern camping equipment and conveniences have become popular. However, the information contained within these pages is timeless and more important today than ever. The master woodsfolk of the 21st century digital age stand to benefit from learning the old ways of the woods masters and camping traditionalists.
Cool.
We keep telling y'all guys, remember the old ways.
Get a lot of these works. I believe in making your own personal library with them, because everything's great on the internet and all right now, but you flick off the power switch and you got nothing.
Yeah. And all it takes is one motivated individual with a dirty bomb. Yeah. Not to be a harbinger of doom.
Yeah.
But,
or one solar flare.
Yeah. Something as simple as a solar flare can wipe out much electronics. Many, many electronics. And then, with a lot of folks who use, and I've got nothing against rechargeable lanterns, but when the lantern runs out of power and you're not able to recharge it, what have you got? You got a 4-pound paperweight.
It's a great convenience right now, but it's the same reason. Always carry a lighter.
Yeah.
But also practice a primitive fire form for those times when you don't. Start with the convenient and easy, and then work your way back, because those are harder. But if I don't have this, I can fall back on that. Well, if I don't have this, I can fall back on that.
Yes.
And that's the way to learn it. It's a tier system. Of each one stands upon it. I learned how to do bow drill fire. I learned how to do fire plow. And it was a job. It doesn't have a high success rate for me, but I know how to do the skill, and I can do it if I had no other choice. Yeah.
I keep a key on my large key ring. I've got 2 ferro rods. And, like he said, go with your first line, go with your rechargeable stuff, but keep a lighter handy. Keep a ferro rod handy. And just for kicks and giggles, learn how to strike flint and steel. Okay? Learn how to do that. And, if you feel so inclined, learn how to do a bow drill and learn how to do a friction fire. They're all very time-proven ways to do things. And it's very convenient. I mean, if it's, if the weather's going sideways, the temperature's dropping fast, and you're stuck in the middle of the woods, it's awfully handy to have a ferro rod in your pocket.
I have a good friend, they live in Oklahoma. A couple of years ago when that Arctic blast came in and just sat in Texas.
Yes.
They had ridiculously cold temps there, and right in the bottom end of Oklahoma, just where it crosses out of Texas. And everything was electric. And they were able to charge the phones off the car battery. They could plug them into their car and it would charge the phones. That's the only way they had any kind of communication. All the power was out. All of their cooking appliances are electric. And they were saying, I don't know what I'm going to do to heat up. It's mother, and she's got 2 kids and her husband. I said, you got a barbecue grill? She said, yeah. I said, cook on the barbecue grill. We don't have hamburgers and stuff. Stick a pot on the barbecue grill. It will work. You have propane? She said, yeah, we got one of the big propane cylinders. Then you've got the ability to cook and heat water, make coffee, But it had never occurred to her to use a gas barbecue grill to cook on like a stove in the house. It just, that's for hot dogs and grilling chicken and shit. Stick a pot up there, it'll work.
That's for survival.
Yeah, that's where you start adding up.
I'm not going to retell the story, but y'all have heard my story of Hurricane Eloise when we were kids, and what my mama did for us and for our neighbors. I don't live in a house that either A, doesn't have a fireplace, or B, doesn't have a gas range. If you have both of those, you're set.
You'll find a way.
Yeah. I have gas heat, I have 3 fireplaces, and I have a gas stove. I also have a big, deep Dutch oven that light the burner underneath it. There's my oven.
Yep.
Ask me how I know.
I've got a fireplace that can heat up the big main part of the house. If we have absolutely no power, we can get in there. I have tons of camping stoves.
Oh gosh.
Plus, I also have cast iron stuff that I can cook in the fireplace in my house to cook if I needed to. So we had the blizzard of 25. We actually had snow down here, a foot of snow.
Yeah.
And it lasted up to a week. That is major down here, guys.
Yeah, my kids and my grandkids are all hoping it does it again this year.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, I have not seen that much snow since the winter of 78.
No.
And usually it snows down here and it lasts 48 hours at tops, and then it's gone. This lasted a week. I was tickled to death. I put the old Pathfinder in 4-wheel drive, and we were putting around the neighborhood, cutting paths for people.
That's why so many folks down here have 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, mud or whatever.
Mud and ice events.
It was either Sunday or Monday, I believe, is the 20-year anniversary of Katrina.
That's right.
20 years since Katrina.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that on TV. Oh, note to you drivers. If your area, state troopers, state police, whatever you call them, if they close a road or if the local Department of Transportation closes a road, don't get out and drive on it.
Yeah,
okay?
Stay off of it.
Yeah, because if you go out and drive on it and wind up in the ditch, they're not coming. Okay?
That's all there is to it.
There's laws that cover them, They do not have to render aid because you're driving on a closed road. Okay?
So you are just on your own.
You're on your own. Good luck.
I think it was Camille was the first, I believe was the first time, and it's where the people were not heeding the evacuation, and that's when that mayor told them to take a marker and write their social security number on their arm, so we can identify the bodies, because we're not coming to you.
Mama's oldest brother lived in Gulfport at the time, and his oldest daughter was getting married, and they had to postpone her wedding because of Camille. But he told some horror stories about seeing things going on during Camille. Camille's the first hurricane that I have a vivid memory of, probably because of Uncle Charlie and Charlotte. But that having been said, there was a hurricane party at a hotel on the beach, and there was probably 100 folks turned out for this party. And the next morning, after the storm had blown out and gone inland, all that was left of that hotel was a concrete slab.
Yeah, it collapsed during the tidal surge.
There was absolutely nothing left. There were no bodies.
Out to sea.
The tide came in, the surge came in, it wiped everything out and then sucked it back out into the Gulf.
Yep. Well, Opal hit in Pensacola. Mm-hmm. And for those of you that have never been across Pensacola Bay, Interstate 10 crosses it. And so you got your 2-lane going this way on this bridge, and there's another bridge over here that's 2-lane coming back the other way. So it's separate bridges. And
fun fact, do you remember the old wooden railroad bridge that ran upstream from there? That's the bridge that they filmed that train scene from Wings of Eagles with John Wayne and Maureen O'Hara.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They filmed that in Pensacola.
I didn't know that.
And that's the train bridge that the train's coming out across, and they're buzzing it, and the guys are jumping off into the bay. Yeah. That was it.
Okay, cool. But the tidal surge hit, and when it did, it picked up one of the bridges sections.
It did.
And an 18-wheeler was coming down the road. You're driving across a bridge across the bay.
In a hurricane.
In a hurricane.
In a hurricane.
Let that sink in. In a hurricane. A major hurricane. And literally the bridge lifted up like this with the water, and the 18-wheeler went into the water, and the bridge came down and cut the trailer in half. And they found half a trailer laying up on top, and a little bit of the bridge wasn't even hardly that crooked.
Yeah, it was pushed over about 3-4 feet.
But it was, but it came back down on its footers. That's what amazed me. It didn't
right
fall off. And then they sent divers down, and 70 feet down, that's where they found the rest of the 18-wheeler and the driver. He died on impact.
Yeah. It's not very far to the water, but it's a long way to the bottom.
Yeah.
It's probably 40 feet from the bridge to the water.
But we can go on waxing about hurricanes, because that's our big thing down here. Now, I know you guys up north, you got blizzard stories. And you guys out west, you got dust storm and things like that in the desert stories. Everybody's got where they're living, Yeah. I remember somebody moving in down here, and they had never seen a hurricane. Where they lived, they came out of the desert country where they didn't get a whole lot of rain. They had never seen hard rain. And then whenever we had a hurricane roll through, and it was 14, 16 hours of constant, just torrential, the whole building shakes. And they're like, how do you people live down here? I said, how do you people live in California where the land moves? We don't have earthquakes here, but they do out there, and so the ground goes to shaking. That would be scary as all get out to us.
Yeah, we don't have measurable earthquakes to mention. Probably the last major earthquake we had down here was the New Madrid.
Well, now they had a 4 point something in Brantley or Brundage? I think Brantley. It's one going back toward Evergreen. Brantley.
I didn't feel it.
No, that was years ago. But yeah, there have been a few. Tuscaloosa has the most earthquakes in Alabama.
I didn't say they didn't occur. I just said
They're on like 1 to
last
2s,
major one.
3s, nothing major.
Yeah.
They say that down there underneath the plate there's a mountaintop that's slowly being ground off, and that's reason it's underneath Tuscaloosa.
Lucky them.
Lucky them. Anything else, brother?
No, I think that we have covered all the high points.
Cool.
Guys, we do thank you for joining us for this OldWayz number 76.
And go back and look at Bear's other OldWayz. You know, if you're just joining the channel, go back and look at those stuff. Leave comments. He loves to hear from you guys.
I do. That's where I get a lot of my ideas from. And it's fun interacting. It's like I like to say, this is not my channel, it's your channel. We share it. We're all family on this channel. About it.
That's it, brother.
Well, like I said, thank y'all for joining us. And if you would, go down there to the bottom and hit that thumbs up. And go over and hit that subscription bell. And join us next time for OldWayz number 76 or anything else that might come down the pipeline. And with that, we'll see you down the road.
Safe journey.